Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So today I thought we would do something a little bit different. What I have is the cover of a dollar store book that I have obviously taken apart. And one side I've, distressed all up using Tim Holtz walnut stain in the Distress Oxide spray. And I've used, some of the actual ink itself, and I did it in stages. So I sprayed, and then I spritzed it with water, let it dry, sprayed again, spritzed it with water, and then, this started to come loose, so I've crinkled that up, and I did glue it back down now. It was like completely coming off. And the same over here, this is still kind of coming off. I'll probably glue that down a little bit more. But anyway, it was layers. So I didn't just like spray it once, spritz it with water, and it looked like this. It was definitely a process that, took a bit. And a lot of drying, and then like I knocked, if you hit the corners on a table or something like that, they get beat up so that, it looks old rather than brand new like this. Okay. These are kind of fun to do, and I've done them before, and a lot of this is going to get covered up, and I know a lot of people are like, why did you go through all the distressing and all that first if you're just going to cover a lot of it? But that's just sort of, this is my background, so this is like my base of what I want to start with. But if you wanted to make something like this and cover it up less, totally do that. You know what I mean? It's not like the way I'm doing it is the only way you can do it. You can do it however you want to do it. So I just have a bunch of bits and pieces of things we're going to add to this. I'm going to start with this piece. And then once it's all done, I'm going to add this old cabinet card. And this is a real cabinet card. So I'll put that in the center. And then it's something you could put on like one of those plate stands, or hang on a wall, put on a shelf, those kind of things. Because a lot of people ask, what do I do with it? So it's really just a piece of art, decorative, I like that old vintagey look. So that's, oh my gosh, I just sprayed this with Distress Refresh spray to try to, it was getting kind of dry. So now I have it all on my fingers, and they were already kind of all stained from doing that. So anyways, don't mind the ink, it's just ink. But yeah, so I don't know. I like to make them look old, but if you like the newer look, then you probably, wouldn't go to the extreme that I've gone to doing this, but that's just the way I like it. So how you all doing? I just felt like doing something different for maybe a few days or whatever, and then we'll go on to the next journal, which will be the steampunk one. So I'm excited to do that one, and I am getting somewhere on the Alice in Wonderland digital, so hopefully that will be done fairly soon. I'm also excited about that one. I think I'll spray this just a little too, because as you can see, I've messed up and gone out of the lines. But we'll make some spots darker and some spots lighter. I kind of want that old sort of wallpaper look, kind of like the wallpaper that was in that hotel in, oh my gosh, I keep touching that lid and the lid's a mess, in Alaska. And I know I could have just used those wallpapers, but kind of just wanted to do my own thing with some layering. I'm going to spritz this a little, and then we'll work on getting our other pieces. And you might want to fast forward this part if you're like, how boring, you're just like inking and spraying and doing that kind of stuff. But it's all part of the process, so people that are new might want to see all of that. I really just need to put this on a paper towel. I like to cover it when I'm not using it, but I'm just making a mess. This is pretty patinaed, like I probably don't need to do this, but I'm going to. This is really old newspaper. And this piece of paper over here is just scrapbook paper. So you can use anything. You don't have to use anything special. This was some end page out of an old book, so that is kind of special. But as you can see, you could definitely use a piece of scrapbooking paper. It's not like there's nothing in the world out there that you could use besides this. This is just that children's manila drawing paper that I like, because it feels a lot like old book page. And I've run it through my embosser, which I kind of showed you guys, just the Big Shot, the little envelopes that you put your paper in and run it through. It embosses it. I thought about doing all this part too ahead of time, but it's kind of like, well, a lot of people might want to see, you know, this part. So like I said, I won't be hurt if you fast forward or whatever. So I'm going to spritz this a little. Oh, that's cool. It left the mark. It'll probably get covered up, but it looks cool because there's ink on the bottom of this. Maybe we'll on purpose do that one. I was just trying not to let it curl as bad. Piece of music. Paper. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. It's so stinking cold again. Tired of the cold. I'm ready for it to warm up a little bit. It's not nice. I do feel bad though, because very close to where I grew up, Lake Tahoe is just getting walloped. The Sierra Nevada range has just gotten like, I think they said 16 feet of snow. That is just, people can't get out of their houses, and I guess it's really, really bad. And even the town I grew up in, they've got jobs too. Like, I love you guys, but I'm glad I'm not shoveling all that snow, because I do not enjoy that. So you saw me ink this. I just put a little water on that paper towel, and I'm just going around it. Oh, I hope if my fingers weren't completely doused in it. I just wanted a little color on there. I think I'm going to go wash my hands and get this stuff dry before I do anything else, because I don't want, you know, getting stuff on things I don't want it on. So okay, I'm back. I think I got most everything dry. So yeah, I think I was totally inspired to do this by Tammy at Loufroufrou Studios. She's doing that old mining journal, and it's super grungy, and she's using the Alaska wallpaper and some other really cool images and things, and I don't know, she kind of just made me want to make something grungy. So, even though this is very different, it's still going to be grungy. So, kind of funny. But yeah, just felt like doing something different. So, hope you guys are doing good. We're getting just weird weather. Like, it's definitely spring weather, because it spits snow. You know, it doesn't really stick on the ground, just blows around, and then it stops, and then the sun comes out, and then it spits snow again, and I don't even know. It's just all over the place. But that's okay. I'll take it over, like, the 16 feet in Lake Tahoe. I don't want that. There's people that are, like, have been trapped in their house for 2 weeks because they have, like, 9 feet of snow outside their houses, and the plows can't even, like, plow it away. It's, like, so much and high and deep and icy, and it's just crazy. I'm like, wow. We had a bad, oh, what, I don't even remember what year that was, how many years ago. But it was real bad. I mean, we were throwing snow well over 6 feet. But at least it was sort of gradual a little more gradual. Like you could get it shoveled. I mean, it snowed every day. It was like incessant. You had to shovel a lot, but we could like get it kind of under control, and then snow again, and you know, that kind of thing. But it sounds like they can't even get out. Like they can't even do anything. It's just crazy. I think they had the National Guard or somebody come in with food and, you know, water supplies, whatever people need, and trying to help people dig out. And I don't know, this is crazy. I think they were saying today it's the most snow ever on record anyway, you know, before record maybe, but I don't know if it's more on the California side or the Nevada side. But anyway, the Sierra Nevada range there. So pray for those folks, because holy smokes, that is just not fun. I think they said 2016 they had a bad year, but it wasn't anywhere near what this is. So crazy. So yeah, I'll just keep doing that, like putting down layers and squishing them a little like I do. And a lot of it's, you know, all stuff you've seen before, but hopefully you'll enjoy just a little something different rather than a journal. Sometimes it's fun to make an art piece for your house or a friend. These would be great gifts, especially because, like I said, this is just dollar store book. So you can use any book, even if it's brand new. It doesn't have to be an old one. Obviously, you can find some really cool old ones, but I kind of prefer doing this to newer books, just because if it does get messed up or I don't like it or whatever, it's not a really cool old book, you know. Plus, you're not seeing the side that you would want to be, like, you're not using this side. You could, I guess, but anyway, that's just my take on it. But yeah, I can't remember what year. If it was 2016, it was like a 30-year, like it hadn't been that bad, that much snow in 30 years. And it was just constant. My poor sister was working outside of her home at that time. Now she has a job where she works from home, but she would have to dig out in the morning before she'd leave, work all day, come back, dig herself back in to get into her garage, and then same thing, just day after day after day after day. It was awful. And meanwhile, I was over here, like, trying to help some of our neighbors who are older, you know, keep walkways and stuff like that. This just wasn't inked enough. Cleared. Because, you know, they needed something from the grocery store, all that kind of stuff. Because we had four-wheel drive, and some people don't, so. Yeah, it's kind of a thing that you need here. It's not always. Like, I've used it, I think, once this year, but there's a lot of years when you need it more. And I like Aleene's tacky glue, but you use the glue you like. If you like fabric tack better or whatever, use that. It's just my preference for this kind of thing. It works great for me. I've never had anything pop off, fabric, nothing. So I like it. That's what I use. But we all got our favorites. Oh, it's scooching right along, didn't it? And too much glue right there. That was a crazy year, but I can't even imagine. Like, I've seen video of people up on their roofs with like 9 feet of snow on their roof, trying to get some of it off because it'll cave your roof in. So yeah, it's just crazy. Crazy. And I'm just going to put a little scrunch of lace. I did do a stitched one, but I think I want that one on this side. So I'm just going to do a little bit over on this other side. Maybe I'll put it across the top. So yeah. Luckily, we haven't had that problem this year. Here. Oh my gosh, I don't know what my neighbor's doing. Banging on something. This, I don't know. I'll have to figure out. We have sweeter as the years go by. I think that's the side I wanted. It's just cold. As you can probably see, I've got multiple layers happening. I think we're all in that boat this year, except for people in places that are, you know, always warm. But Texas has even had crazy weather that they don't normally have. I have some other bits. Got to kind of figure out where this is going to go because that lace doesn't want to stay down. I think I'm going to have to scooch that up just a little bit before it sticks entirely. I have some other pieces. I don't think they're dry. I'll end up using these because now they're wet. I just sprayed them a little with the ink too. But I wanted kind of those strings hanging out. I'm gonna get these dry, I'll be right back. And I got a little cheesecloth here that I think I'll put down too. I know it's sad, you're not even gonna see my little ring on the paper here. Just want these like kind of stringy like that old wallpaper kind of does. My dad's house, when he bought it, it was such a mess. It's over 100-year-old house. Well, now it's even older, obviously. But it was like, they used to use like newspaper, basically any type of paper they could get their hands on to insulate the walls. And so it would be like layers of whatever paper they could find, newspapers, whatever. And then like some wallpaper or whatever to, you know, help insulate the walls. But when we moved into that house, before my dad got it all fixed up, you could see in some of the cracks to the outside, and then like when the wind blew, the wallpaper would blow on the walls. So yeah, I was very little when that was going on, but he would tell the stories, and my sister remembers a little bit more of that. But he got it all fixed up, and it was a super nice house in the end. But yeah, when I was a kid, we would be so cold in the wintertime in our rooms because there was only a potbelly stove down in the kitchen, you know, with firewood and all. So upstairs we would just stack our beds so high with blankets, and like cover ourselves up just so our noses would like stick out in the winter, because we had pretty bad winters there. But yeah, I just remember freezing in the morning, run downstairs to sit in front of the potbelly until, you know, you had to get dressed or whatever for school. But yeah, it's cold. I And I can tell the stories, like, you know, you hear people say, oh, did your grandparents, you know, walk in a blizzard and all that? Seriously, yes. I every day, well, not every day, but in the winter, many times, walk home from school uphill, all uphill, right? It's always got to be uphill in a blizzard. So, yep. I know snow very well. And it is not my fave. I think I'm going to do something kind of like that. Maybe this colorful, this is just a piece that I made a pleated ruffly type thing out of. And this lace I just gathered however and stitched it. So that you'll see kind of like just edges of it sticking out. That's what I'm going for. Like that, I think. And then I'm gonna take this piece and put it along the bottoms. This might have to scoot up here. I don't think we're gonna see the sweeter as the years go by deal, because I'm gonna have to scooch that up just a little bit. So that was kind of a bummer, but that's okay. I kind of feel like I need something over here, so I think we'll put a little bit more cheesecloth. You're not going to see much of that, but I do want to see some of that color underneath, you know. It's all just kind of trial and error. And it doesn't always come out exactly as you had envisioned, because things seldom do. Gosh, I literally don't know what my neighbor is doing. So loud. So loud all the time. Got this too. Like this morning, I don't know what was going on over there, but he was slamming and banging and kind of like he is right now. I'll use a piece of this. So you can see a little bit of it up there. And a lot of it will get held down, obviously, once you glue the big piece down. And where you can't see it, I do put a lot of glue because I want to make sure it stays. Yeah, I might be able to get the sweeter as the years go by thing on there. There's a good one here. I thought about putting this on one of the corners. My sister made that, but I don't know. I think it's just a little too wide. Yeah, I think I like it like that. Now the question is, because there's space in here, I'm probably gonna have to use like some type of, if I've got any over here, I don't know. Okay, hold on just 1 minute again. These dimensional little foamy things are across the room, so I'm going to put them on the back. Just just in a couple spots so that it lifts in the center here. And these you can find in most craft stores, or sometimes I even find them at the dollar store, which is like a score. You can get them from like Stampin' Up. There's a lot of places you can find these little foam dimensionals. Oh, am I getting glue on the front of this? This picture was gifted to me. This isn't like family members or anything like that. Oh, I did get glue on it. Dang. That's why you shouldn't work on the actual item, Amy. You'd think I'd learn, but I don't, ever. Got it over there too. Well, I guess those are just little distress marks that are just gonna make it better. I'll have to wipe them off in a minute here. I am going to add glue to these just to make sure they stay. And then I'll probably add a little glue here and there to hopefully make sure. I don't feel like that's very centered, but I don't really care. In fact, I may just make it a little cockeyed. I know that makes it so you can't read that up there, but that's okay. It wasn't hugely important. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's going to be a hold on to it thing, huh? I need to try to erase some of those. These glue erasers are wonderful. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them sometimes at the dollar store. But they're great to have because they do take off a lot of that type stuff. I'm just going to run glue along here, and then I will put this under like a heavy book or something like that so that it stays. This was also gifted to me. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it looks, the embellishments were added to it, like handmade type. So very cool. I didn't add those. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to put it under a heavy something or other to get it to all glue down. And if you were doing this on your own, it would probably be smart to do stuff like in layers and let it dry and that kind of thing, but we'll be here all day if we do that. But I think you guys get it. They look pretty cool on like those old plate stands. And a lot of times you can find these cabinet cards at thrift stores and stuff like that, antique stores, because people just have them, don't know who the people are in them, or, you know, sometimes if people pass away and their family doesn't know who everybody is in the pictures, then they end up getting rid of them because they just don't, you know, they don't know. Or a lot of people aren't into old photographs. Some people think they're creepy, so I mean, it's just your own preference, right? I really like them, but I get it, it's not for everybody. So I'm gonna go put this under something heavy so that it'll dry flat. But there she is, just a fun little thing to do with a, you know, cheap book, or a book that's already falling apart that isn't any big deal, you know, just get it glued down and have a little piece of art. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Talk later. Bye.